Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future, know you wanna. She'll never betray ya, she ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming, yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. How's everyone today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. What are we all up to? Anyone doing anything interesting? Right. Couple of updates today. I'm always amazed that there are so many things to talk about. I've actually just realized that there's a story regarding Charles that I've actually forgotten to put up on the slides. So I'm going to have to put it on my phone, but I will get to that as well. It's something regarding Charles and the police and some kind of investigation. So I will get to that at some point as well. But thumbs up, everyone, and hit that subscribe button. And so far, over 14,000 of you have hit that subscribe button, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. I cannot believe how far we have come on this channel. Phenomenal. And to think, this actually all started with an Instagram, and I had never intended to do a podcast. I just kind of did it off the cuff, and it blew up, and here we are. And so I am so grateful for every single one of you for showing up every day, for your generosity, your time, your donations, because I wouldn't be able to do this day in, day out without your support. So incredibly grateful, and thank you so much as always to the mods, always doing the Lord's work. And what an incredible family we've built here, not just on my platform, but I think across the platforms. And I'm seeing so many new ones popping up. And like I always say to you all, please do, if you feel compelled to start your own platform, do it. Do it. Because, some of us may choose to leave forever or leave for a while and not come back. And, even since I've joined the squad and started my platform, there are some people who have actually stopped doing their podcasts completely, or who maybe don't upload that often as they used to. So we need people to fill that space and to continue to build our platforms, because the media noise is just so loud. And if you listen to my podcast yesterday, I spoke about a bunch of people that I bumped into who weren't even really royalists. I wouldn't actually say that they were royalists. Interestingly enough, though, these 4 people all looked kind of. I think they were Indian or Bangladeshi. They all looked kind of like Central Asia, but they all disliked Harry and Meghan, and all of the things that they were saying were just talking points from the British press. So these are people who come from countries, former colonies, and really have no real reason to have allegiance to the monarchy, really. Other than, I mean, that they were British, but in terms of like heritage, you think they'd be a little bit more critical of the monarchy, but they weren't. And I wonder if it was kind of a case of, there are some people who were never really into the royals, but they just dislike Harry and Meghan and defend the royals because of that. But we do need people to my point, we do need people to create platforms and show the other side that a lot of people aren't seeing. But there are some people who I do think will just always believe what the tabloids say and aren't going to think for themselves. But I thank you all for creating this space and spreading the word. Right, now that we're done with the intros, let's get into it. Sharon, and can you kindly say hi to Tina and Michelle for us whenever you get a chance to chat to them? Oh, I will. Michelle I don't speak to, but Tina I do keep up with every now and again. I would try and get her on a show. She's very busy. They're both fine, by the way, and they're just very busy with life. But Tina, I will definitely try and get her on a show. I do speak to her occasionally. She's fine. Jalen, you say, I just don't understand. If they don't care about Harry and Meghan, why do they keep talking about them? Let them do what they want to do in peace. Yeah. It's so interesting. In the group that I met yesterday, one of the women said, "Oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about them." And then I said to her, "Were you not sick and tired of hearing the press media make go after Meghan for the last 6 years?" And she had no response. She had no response whatsoever. And the guy that was sitting next to her kind of just looked at me like, "Oh, I never even thought of that." And I was like, I could see it on his face. Like, yeah, Levy, they literally allow the tabloids to dictate their minds. Like, it's just, ugh, it's mental. Like, I don't understand how I've always been someone who, like, I question information when it comes to me. I've always been a bit of a skeptic. How you can just I mean, listen, the tabloid press in the UK is just such a powerful institution at this point that a lot of people are just never going to question it, and it's going to be to their own detriment. All I can say is that I'm very, very glad that I made the decision that I'm just going to leave the UK, because honestly, being here for the last month, guys and dolls, my mental health has improved so much. It's still hard sometimes because I'm in this space, so I still see it, I still hear it every single day, but just not physically being there, not physically being in the drama of it all has been so good for my mental health. I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been like for Harry and Meghan. Anyway, on to the stories for today. Over in the Caribbean, the Dutch royals are having a tour. They were met with some small protests. Nothing major. They've genuinely been received quite well, actually. Everything that I've seen has been quite positive, but there was a protester who interrupted a lecture by singing "Oh Freedom." And to be honest, I hope that this signals the end of these kind of tours. I've said this before. If royals are going to go to other countries, they should be soft diplomats, and we want fair trade talks, trade deals, and like, kind of cultural exchanges. And they can even have some of the leaders from these countries go to their countries as well. It's like, why are they constantly coming to these countries where there's black and brown people and just being performed to? We should also get to go and have, political talks as well on an equal footing, not just them coming to perform for what. I know that the Dutch royals do seem to be making more of an effort, but I'm just very mindful of, how much of it is just PR, and I'm waiting to see actual results and impact from whatever it is that they're saying that they're going to do. Also, Karen Milton, her company Party Pieces tried to expand into the US, and she is now locked in a dispute with the firm's suppliers after postal strikes only added to the company's woes. I mean, we could have all told her that this wasn't really going to go far. Um, the US, I think they've got more than enough party suppliers. Um, and I don't even know Party Pieces to be hugely successful here in the UK. So from a business standpoint, I didn't understand this. On to the next thing. I don't know whether or not this is leaking from the palace or the press spin. It's difficult to even know the difference now. They both sound and look the same. But I'm seeing more and more stories about Harry possibly coming to the coronation by himself. Well, first of all, I think it's um, horrible that the tabloids have created such a dangerous situation for Meghan's safety that this would even be a consideration. I think it's horrible that they keep spinning this narrative as if Harry doesn't have a wife and kids. Because ideally, I think I may not agree with it, we may not agree with it, but I think that if it was safe enough for the kids and Harry, sorry, for the kids and Meghan to go, I don't think there'd be any problem or debate. They would be going. But there is a problem of security. There is a problem of the family constantly leaking. There is a problem of the press turning it into a giant circus. So ultimately, we're just going to wait for the day and see what happens. for me personally, I think it's a win-win. I think if Meghan shows up, we get to see Meghan. She'll look amazing. If they don't show up, then that's fine also. The only people I think who are really fretting about their bottom line and paychecks is the British tabloids, because they want those pictures of Meghan, and they really want those pictures of Meghan and the kids, if the kids come to the coronation as well. So my guess is that either Harry's going to come alone or Harry and Meghan will come. And dark horse, maybe they will come with the kids. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I this will be the last time that I actually speculate about this. We're just going to see on the day. Amy Andrews, yeah, now they're desperate for him to attend. But you know something? They're spinning it as, is Harry gonna attend? Harry's whistle-stop visit without Meghan. They know full well that they want Meghan to come. Meghan is the draw, let's be honest. Meghan is the $1 million picture. Himi fan, once the coronation is over, Harry and Meghan will truly be free, and the press will have nothing to hold over their head. Yeah, true. Ugh, can't wait for it to be over. John Hickey, I reckon Harry will come alone. Meghan looked down the food. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he came alone, to be honest. I know that the press are going to have a million things to say, but they always have a million things to say, so just let it be. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you to you all. Much appreciated. All right. On to the next thing. Somebody named Rupert Everett thinks Harry is deranged and nobody's giving him good advice. I am not even being shady when I say this. I did not know who Rupert Everett was. I still don't know who he is. I did not Google him. So I just have to assume that this man is putting Harry's name on his lips for a bit of clout. If if anybody knows who Rupert Everett is, please comment in the chat. I don't know who he is. But here he was talking about Harry. On to the next thing. There is a lady called Laura Trevelyan, and she visited Granada last year to film a documentary about her family's past and that their involvement in the slave trade, and she found out that the slaves there were not compensated or supported after gaining their freedom. And the family have issued an apology. They did seem very sincere in what they said, but let me just pull up the article because I just wanted to read a little bit more into this actually. So she says, give me a sec. Right, so they owned give me a sec, folks. Computer is playing up. Okay, so they owned 6 sugar plantations in Granada, and they are also going to pay reparations. And speaking to the BBC, she recalled her visit saying, "It was really horrific. I saw for myself the plantations where slaves were punished when I saw the instruments of torture that were used to restrain them." So the family are going to give £100,000 to establish a community fund for economic development on the impoverished islands and in the Eastern Caribbean. She went on to say that for me, giving 100,000 almost 200 years later, maybe that seems really inadequate, but I hope that we're setting an example by apologizing for what our ancestors did. And I think that's a good example to set. And I actually I've said this before, I think it's going to be very, very difficult with the whole concept of giving reparations to give to individual people. And I actually don't know how productive that would be. I think what's a lot more productive would be what this lady and her family are doing by putting it in community projects that can build the community and stimulate growth in economic development. I think that's the right way to go about it in the long term. So baby steps, and credit where it's due. Um, Someone deciding to step up to the plate and say, yes, I am sorry, and giving back the little that she can give back. I mean, there's really no way you can ever repay what was done, but I do say give credit where it's due, and her family seem very sincere. If only some certain royals would perhaps follow example from this lady and her family here. Also, TV Fantastic posted this infamous moment. She had to be there. Do we all remember this? What was happening here? What crazy, out of this world, alien thing was Meghan doing here? She was opening her own car door. And do we all remember the absolute ish show that this was? Omid actually responded to the original tweet with a picture saying, yes, I was there, can confirm. Some needed smelling salts. And then TV Fantastic replied by saying, it was so surreal, had me looking up other royals that had also opened their car doors to tell them they were wilding. Mental. And I believe that it was actually Emily Andrews who set off the whole Meghan open her own car door nonsense that happened, and everybody was losing their damn mind. Because a woman in, what was this, 2020, just to make sure, not 1920, opened her own car door. Wild. He's an actor, okay. He's a has-been from the 80s, 90s. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was Shrek Prince Charming. Oh my god. Guys, I literally just brought up that story to be shady. Thank you so much, Alan Vernon, for the super chat. If Harry goes alone, they will say it's because Harry and Meghan have split up. And then in 80 years, when Harry and Meghan are in their rocking chairs and Archie is the president of the United States, they'll still be saying it then also. They'll never stop saying it, Alan Vernon. Amy, they need to give funds for economic growth, but it has to be in the millions. Yeah. Well, it's a start, isn't it? And I believe this is one of the. I don't know. Have there been other families that have done this? This is the first I've seen. If there's others, please do let me know in the comment section. But this is the first I've seen. Yeah, Kathy G, infrastructure, trade schools, things that can help people actually build the communities. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, Lightside, do you remember this? Meghan closing the car door. Bang. Okay. They're still sending out the troops to talk about Harry and his book. They have to be careful now with the Royal Rota because the Royal Rota has been exposed. So now they just have to send out randoms. And one of those randoms is Petronella Wyatt, who was Boris Johnson's mistress and got sided by him, came out and said, I can see nothing ahead for Prince Harry but trouble. Penguin are bound to want their pound of flesh. He won't be able to wriggle his way out of that by playing the royal card, especially as his market value as a royal has hit rock bottom. Here's the problem I see with people like Petronella and this narrative that the UK tabloids are spinning. One of the things I keep hearing from some people, like kind of like the royalists, anti-Harry and Meghan set, is, well, why aren't they going away? Why can't they just go away? Can't they just be quiet now? I don't know what part of Harry and Meghan are building a multimedia company, charitable organization these people don't understand, but they seem to be under this impression still that somehow Harry and Meghan are failing. Or the only thing that Harry and Meghan are doing is, talking about their experience um of being abused and done wrong in the royal family. But that's just one, and I think the beginning of where they are. They're doing so many other things. And so I think what's happening is that it's creating this false narrative in the minds of a lot of tabloid readers that Harry and Meghan are going to go away, that they're not doing well, but every time they look up, Harry and Meghan have something else out. And like I said, the Dead Sea is between Jordan and Israel, but somehow the UK produces saltiest people. People like Petronella. Let's go to your comments. Yes, Meghan was looking fabulous in that dress, in that outfit. Thank you so much, Lucy Wynn, for reminding everyone to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Yes, light side. The Dead Sea is between Jordan and Israel, but somehow the UK produces saltiest people. I don't know how it happened. Like, please all know that we are not all like this. We really are not. It's the tabloid readers, I'm telling you. It is the tabloid readers. Most other people don't think like this because they don't read the tabloids. Valerie, there was a man who turned up in chains and asked for forgiveness in Westminster Church. Oh my goodness, I have to look into that. What was his name, Valerie? Yeah, I don't know what Petronella is talking about either, Amy. I have no idea what she's talking about. It's like they're just hoping so bad that if they say a lie enough times, it becomes the truth. Yeah, LA, this is the thing. Harry and Meghan don't actually say much. The rags just won't shut up. Janita, the Dead Sea is in the bedroom of William K. Yeah, Marcia, they're the ones that keep asking, where's Meghan? Oh, indeed, Miss P talks. Media is poison. Okay, on to the next thing. So, Miss Catherine has a new PR guru and a new private secretary, who apparently is a different kind of courtier who's going to shake things up and is a ball breaker. Somebody who is a ball breaker sounds like a bit of a bully to me. But anyway, the reason I find this interesting is, where is Lee Thompson? Haven't seen or heard from Lee Thompson for a while. Is he still there? Is he still in the background? What is his role now? If Kate is getting her own secretary, is she looking to almost form her own team? If so, why? Gonna keep an eye on this one because I find it interesting that this comes right after the Shaping Us has not been received very well. I do believe that the lady Alison Caulfield has had some great success in the past. I think she worked on Jamie Oliver's project, if I'm thinking of the right lady. But I just think that no matter how good that you are as a PR person or as a creative, if the people you're working with don't have the right work ethic, you're going to struggle. And Kate also spoke about um, how tough it is to raise kids and the environment in which we are bringing kids up in today. Um, I mean, that's all good and well, but what are you actually doing to create impact? Because I think Megan wrote to, was it Million Mums? You know, they're fighting for more uh, paid paid leave for parents in America, and also they're working with several academics and other organizations to look at internet safety. So those are the type of things that you need to be doing to create impact, to help people who are struggling to raise their kids, not just talk about it, especially if your children are pretty much being raised by nannies. Um, right. I will go to your comments first before we continue. Church Nelly, the tabloids can click their heels 3 times and Harry and Meghan will still succeed. Oh, truly they are living in Oz. Yeah, Linda Lala, you can't make things happen when you have nothing to start with. I actually don't understand why they didn't just have Kate involved with something with art, because she studied art history. And the more of this project that comes out, the more we find kind of other projects that were pretty much similar to it. And so you wonder, did her team steal this idea from somewhere else? Because Earthflop was literally stolen from another person's idea. Right. Next thing. Oi, this whole thing with Harry and this woman. These are the front covers today of The Sun and the Daily Mail. Protest, cost of living crisis. What protest and cost of living crisis? Where? A 6-page special in the Daily Mail. What did they write about for 6 pages about this? And why is this woman so proudly showing her face like this? Why would you want this to be your claim to fame? And then she was talking about how, um, sh- I don't know exactly what she said, but she said that she was unhappy about, Harry talking about it or something like that. And I'm just like, girl, he never said your name. He never said your name, girl. You're the one who came out and talked about this. And now the speculation as to whether or not she's actually telling the truth. Here are pictures of her all the way back them years ago. And that is the lady. So Harry is kissing another woman, and that's her in the back, looking very jealous. I'm actually wondering if out of these 3 women, the Daily Mail approached them all and she was the only one that was willing to say that it was her. I'm starting to wonder if that was the case. Because girlfriend is getting no action in these pictures. She's in the background. And the tabloids have claimed that it was many other women who picked Harry's plum. And this was the Daily Mail's online website today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different articles and the headline article. This is insanity. And in the Sun's articles, they had the route to the field. So from the back of the pub to the field, they literally found the place and did a route picture. This is derangement right here. Who would do this and why? Who would do this and why? Craziness. Right. I never want to talk about this story again. This makes me so uncomfortable. Oh, um, you can't spin yarn into gold. So they have gold-plated yarn. Is that in regards to the courtiers in the palace? LA, you had to know someone would come forward and claim to be the one. I guess so. Hope it was worth the money. She better have asked for a lot. Joan Hickey, older woman is not 2 years older. This woman is lying. Harry had his beer goggles on. I mean, older, yeah. I mean, if he was what in his, do you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I find the whole thing very uncomfortable. But yeah, a lot of people do think that she's lying. Yeah, light side is completely nuts. Who would do this? Trash media. Anyway, there was this very interesting graph that came out about young Brits and whether or not we should have an elected head of state. And it would appear that there has been an increase in the number of people of that young age range that believe that uh, there should be. This isn't surprising. I honestly believe that even without this whole situation with Harry and Meghan, this would have happened anyway. If not the family fallout of the royals, it would have been all of the social and economic upheaval that would have led to the unpopular opinions about the royals. I just think the situation with Harry and Meghan has accelerated something that was just inevitable. It was inevitable. So this doesn't really surprise me at all. Yes, Judith, and this is actually another really good point. This is all distraction tactics from what's happening in the UK. And there's a very good thread that I found, and I wanted to read this out. So this is from someone who read Spare. So she said, I finally read Spare last week. Simply cannot understand the hyperbolic reaction to it. It's a story of a young man persecuted by the press since birth. Every youthful prank magnified, mother hounded to death, girlfriends chased away. Now his wife facing vile abuse. The criticisms he makes of his family are mild. He makes many, many complimentary comments about them too. His observations about the vile tabloids are accurate. The silence from the palace at he and his wife's expense is extraordinary. His thoughtful analysis of his own actions in Afghanistan has been willfully misrepresented, as have most of the rest of the book. Salacious details taken wildly out of context. The book is nothing like the spiteful, gossipy revenge fest it has been portrayed in the press. Harry is ruthlessly critical of himself and his own behavior. I admire his honest scrutiny of his actions, including his dumb ones. He is to be applauded, but no, it looks like we will learn nothing from this sad tale. Why does it matter? Because it epitomizes the problem around the institution, the dishonesty of the press, the collusion between courtiers and media barons, and the willingness of the monarchy to throw one of their sons to the wolves to protect themselves. It matters because with Harry as scapegoat, it deflects attention from other family scandals, his father's affair, his brother's rumored affair, his uncle's alleged p da 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 da, you know the word, their financial affairs, etc. No, he's the naughty one who has disgraced the monarchy. Finally, it matters because it deflects from so many other problems in the UK. It suits everyone, government, monarchy, media, to have saturation coverage of Harry and Meghan instead of the real issues in the UK. And that right there sums up all of this. Sums up all of this. This nonsense. You've got the Sun newspaper doing deep field investigations of where Harry was having a romp, when you've got government ministers who should be being investigated for COVID fraud, for using the pandemic to basically fill their pockets while everybody else was suffering, while businesses were shut down. It was a money grab for them. And instead, the Sun newspaper is doing field studies of where Harry had a romp. Instead, this is what the Daily Fail is putting on the cover. Instead, we've got 6-page royal special about some rando woman whose name was not mentioned, and she decided to come forward and just be completely and utterly shameless. Right. Yeah, I did have another story about Charles, but for some reason, ooh, do forgive me, it has not loaded on the screen. But basically, the story is that Charles Charles and Camilla are going to have new thrones made for the coronation. They're going to have new thrones made for the coronation. And who's paying for that? I wonder who's paying for that. Right, there was another story about Charles and something going on with the police, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I'll talk about it tomorrow because I haven't actually got it loaded and I want to read a little bit more into it. And I wonder if more about it is going to come out tomorrow anyway. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But that is all for now. Thank you so much as always, everyone. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. I will end with your comments and we'll call it a day. Have a wonderful Sunday, everyone. And thank you once again for 14,000 subscribers. Like, wow. Yes, Jalen, the book really gives us a real in-depth look into Harry's life. And somehow they managed to weave coming to 40 years of life in 400 or 500 pages. Quite incredible, actually. It was done really well. Yeah, Rachel's son. He didn't name the pub. I guess this lady here gave them all the deets. Yeah, Lightside. You're so right. Other countries need to step up and start calling out. But do you know what? The only country I think, if they were going to start calling out the false publications of the UK, that would make a big splash and a big difference is the US. And so far, there have been a couple of US journalists that have been very good and written some great articles, but collectively, I have found the US media to be quite disappointing. You need a very articulate, blockbuster journalist, a Ronan Farrow, to do a really good expose on the British press. But to be honest, though, I can understand why a lot of people are hesitant because you basically got journalists going up against journalists, and not that bad journalists shouldn't get called out, but they do have a little bit of a code between them, right? So it's going to take a very brave journalist that has a great angle to go up against the tabloid writers in the UK. But at this point, they've got so much to work with. Harry and Meghan have given them so much to work with. I think that this upcoming case of the Daily Fail is going to be a huge turning point. I think a lot is going to come out in this case because the charges are incredibly serious. RPG, are the thrones going to be shaped like tampons? Gail, they're getting new toilets. Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys are so bad. You're so bad, but it's so good. Oh, you have a good day as well, Valerie. Thank you so much for coming as always. Thank you so much, Tamiko. Cookies and Cream. That's why it's so important for the clip of Harry on the Me You Can't See docuseries to be plastered all over social media and trend. For those who haven't read the book or listened to the audio book, yes. I think that's why it was so important that they did different forms of media, because those that haven't read the book might see the Netflix documentary. Those that didn't watch Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary, maybe they're interested in mental health, so they saw the mental health documentary with Oprah. Those that maybe didn't see that, maybe they saw one of the interviews. Harry did 4 different interviews. And if you didn't see any of that, maybe you listened to Meghan's archetypes and picked up a few things there. There are a couple of occasions where she does talk about things regarding her royal life on occasion, like with the Archie's, the incident with Archie when the radiator got set on fire. So it's good that they've spread themselves across different forms of media, and so we have different media to also spread around. And yes, if you see those clips, retweet them, share them. It's important. Boney Mighty, maybe someone like James O'Brien will deal with them. No, I like James O'Brien. And there's no offense to him whatsoever, but I just don't feel like he has the might of like a Ronan Farrow, like a real heavyweight like Ronan. All right, Cookies and Cream. I'm going to give you the last word of the day. Everyone, please continue to stay safe, pray, don't peg and hydrate. Amen. Have a lovely day, everyone. Ciao.
Question: Did you get?
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah, baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward.
the Sussex. The Sussex.
And we've got some breaking news on that book by Prince Harry, Spare, as it's called. It is the UK's fastest selling non-fiction book on record, we are hearing. And it's sold figures of 400,000 copies so far. That's across hardback, ebook, audio formats. On its first day of publication, 400,000 copies have been sold. The Transworld Penguin Random House, the publisher, said, quote, "We always knew this book would fly, but it is exceeding even our most bullish expectations. As far as we know, the only books to have sold more in their first day are those starring the other Harry, i.e. Harry Potter. But according to the latest data we have, it is the fastest UK selling non-fiction book on record." And Harry was paid $20 million for that book, we are told. So the publishers are getting a bit of their money back already.